conference play is here in a big way. UNLV a stunning halftime edge, 37-26. The preseason favorite facing a grand deficit. John Sadak alongside the former Gonzaga All-American and NBA man in Dan Dickow. The effort from UNLV off the charts.
Yeah, that's the thing that stood out to me. I know we talked about it during the break, is the effort and the attention to detail that UNLV played with is the difference in the game in the first 20 minutes. Another difference, what they did down low. Points paint doubled in UNLV's favor. And they did it in different ways. A hard dive off the pick and roll from Mbaka John is one way, which was very effective. They ended up posting up Chevelle here. He gets the and one, which led to a flagrant one, but they've also been great putting the ball in Bryce Hamilton's hands, letting him attack in transition. The outside shooting, UNLV only makes 7 threes a game and 4 biggies in the first. You're right, they have not been great shooting it from the perimeter throughout the course of the year, but typically when one guy gets it going, it kind of breeds confidence in others. Hardy with 2 made threes, Coleman with 1, Antonio, who's known as a shooter, with another one. 1 of 9 from outside Utah State. Some good looks in those misses, right? Absolutely, they took some good looks. Sam Merrill, reigning Mountain West Conference Player of the Year, 0 of 3 from beyond the arc. I would expect him to get it going here in the second. Mbaka John, he had those numbers when he left the game after slamming onto the floor at the 6:15 mark. He was forced to come back in due to foul concern and played the last minute or so. He's got the primary defensive assignment here, knocks it free, loose on the deck, and a jump ball. Arrow will send it to the Rebels. Now some notes for Utah State, Dan. They've trailed time 3 times this year. They're 2-1 in games they've trailed at half, including Craig Smith's team was down 19 in the second half to beat LSU in Jamaica. Well, they've played from ahead most of the year, but that should give Coach Smith and their players confidence that an 11-point deficit to start the second half is not too much. Hardy, he is fluid. That behind the back dribble move. He's always in attack mode. Like to see him be able to create for others a little bit more, but you know, at the same time, when you're in attack mode, a lot of times you get a one-track mind, and that's get shot up on goal. Another 3-point miss for Miller in Utah State. Miller has the only 3-point make for Utah State among its 10 tries. Coleman trying to float that one up. Dorius, good job. Can't teach that size, right? Absolutely not. Merrill. Jong as the primary defender of the strip. Hardy draws the foul at the other end. The effort for UNLV is spectacular. Fighting through the ball screen was Hardy, but Jong, a nice job of staying engaged on the pick and roll. Hardy attacking, as I mentioned before, this time in transition, creates the contact, get himself to the line. Well, Hardy had come off the bench the last couple of games. He had scored 8 total points in those games. And as Abel Porter picks up his first foul, he finds himself creating, and a lot of team concept working for UNLV at both ends. Well, they've done a nice job of mixing things up. They've done a lot of side pick and roll actions. They've done some continuity ball screen. But whatever they've done it with pace and energy in the first half. They need to keep that up here in the second if they're going to come out with the win. UNLV's largest lead. Merrill can't knife into it. Wide open. Dorius. Defender fell down. That was a mismatch. He was battling Hardy down low. Tillman, that was an extra stride, yes. Turnover there on the travel. Utah State receiving votes in the top 25, ranked as high as 15th this year. The reigning champs and the first ever unanimous preseason favorite in Mountain West lore. Wouldn't be surprised if they climb back into that top 25 soon. A big one, obviously, Saturday at San Diego State. But their 2 losses are respectable to St. Mary's and to BYU.
To get back in, though, they cannot lose to a 6-8 UNLV team that's better than its record, but it won't look good. UNLV more than content to take some air out of the ball here, right?
We kind of get back to playing the style that Coach Otzelberger thinks is going to give them the best chance of success this season. Yes, he wants to play fast, but you also have to earn the right to play fast and with a lot of freedom.
Jong screens, Hardy fires. Ugly miss on the air ball. Miller able to box out.
I had his mind made up coming off that screen that regardless of his defender fought over or if there was a switch, he was going to shoot it from deep. Wide right from the start.
You feel like Utah State is just due to drain a bunch of threes, right?
Well, Merrill had a good look earlier after setting the back screen. He just hasn't gotten it to go yet.
And Miller coughs it up. Tillman on the trot, down the lane, the lead, hang, hit! Nick Blair banks UNLV up a dozen. It feels like Utah State is waiting for UNLV to peter out. They're not. Bean, dangerous pass. Roll off the extra touch. That'll be a foul. That's a third on Marvin Coleman. Nick Blair, a former walk-on. Walked down at Idaho. Walked down as a transfer at UNLV.
Making the most of his opportunity this season. 3 games of 10 plus. Get out transition, get wide, present yourself as an available target to the ball handler.
And a bobble. How does this happen on an out of bounds?
Utah State a little bit out of sorts, both in the half court as well as that time on a baseline out of bounds. Their spacing has not been great. Last year when I saw them play a few times, they had great spacing. They would get Merrill in pick and roll situations and have the floor spaced with shooters for him to make the correct read.
Tillman taking Bean off the bounce. Antonio, the flip. Tillman, oh, nice idea, the drop for Jong. 4 to shoot. What do you want here?
All 5 need to recognize and understand where the shot clock's at, but you don't need to rush it. 4 seconds is a lot longer time than you think.
Jong, the leading jumper, side backboard, and a shot clock violation. Terrible news in the basketball world today. David Stern, NBA commissioner for exactly 30 years, an innovator who grew the game to global heights never before dreamed of, passed away weeks after suffering a brain hemorrhage. Stern survived by his wife and their 2 sons, Eric and Andrew. David Stern, basketball legend, lost at the age of 77. UNLV up 12 on the preseason favorite in the Mountain West. And UNLV has been tested from jump. Yes, the Rebels are 6-8. But Kansas in overtime by 4, at Cal by 4, to SMU by 4, at Cincinnati in overtime.
You look at all those games, you talk to the staff, and they say that all of those were winnable games. It comes down to 1 or 2 plays, maybe taking it a bad time on the stretch or a turnover. But you could have easily gone from 6-8 to 8-6 or maybe even 9-5. But you love the fight that UNLV has played with tonight.
Merrill, dynamic score, smothered all night, screaming for it. Drives, misfire, the length of Jong, but Bean on the spot.
Utah State, one of the best rebounding teams in the country at almost plus 12. They are getting beat on the boards this evening. That's a good sign for Justin Bean and Utah State to get active on the glass and to put back 2.
Closing that gap, points in the paint. Now down to -6. Deep 3, Antonio. Oh my goodness. He's been in an extended shooting funk since a slight tear in the ligament of non-shooting left thumb. Don't tell him that tonight.
I think that non-shooting hand looks fine there.
The shooting of Utah State, though, just dismal.
Now from three. Mentioned their lack of dominance on the glass a second ago, but they're also shooting 33% for the game now.
Antonio feeling it. Off target, tipped, but a foul. John went over the back. That'll be his second. Antonio wants the ball. UNLV a sub. Blair out.
You want shooters to catch it in rhythm, shoot it in rhythm. That's exactly what Jonah Antonio did on that possession. It's so interesting how players' range continues to extend. 10, 12 years ago, that would have been looked at as a bad three, but due to Steph Curry and the advent of the three-point shot becoming a bigger part of offenses, teams are okay with players shooting real deep threes now.
Oh, Tillman got hit. John gets the swat. Hamilton's back on the floor. Five blocks for UNLV against the tallest team in America. Everybody moving off the ball. Tillman right through the double. Couldn't believe he was that open. Rejected. 5 to shoot. Hamilton contested. Ugly miss. Utah State ball. Bean right down the lane wanted it. Tip ball from Anderson out of bounds.
Anderson puts the ball on the deck, a little off balance, but Mbaka John, nice job reacting from the weak side, coming over and getting another block, his third on the evening.
Earlier in his career, he named Mbaka. Now he's got the length on this tough quarter entry. Might have gotten a piece there. Tip, look out, Dan. I got you.
Quick hands, John, I appreciate it.
Well, you only have one hand currently.
That is true.
He tried another sport, folks. He's got a brace on his left hand.
Little accident over the holidays. A basketball player should not play hockey. I tried to do that. Broke a bone in my hand. Tried to be a good dad. Play a sport with my kids I'm not good at.
I do that with every sport. Merrill. Bairstow into the game. Right to the lane. Rejected. What a swat.
Gives it a flex for good measure. I'm not sure if the strength coach is going to appreciate the flex when the muscles aren't as big as he probably thinks they are after that play, but love the enthusiasm tonight.
Only 3 to shoot. Bean, flat shot, rebound, UNLV. The Runnin' Rebels are on their first modest win streak of the year. They hadn't won back-to-back games for their last 2. Antonio, 3 ball off. Good job to box and board by Brito. Diogo Brito, oh, what a bounce pass, and Bean puts it in. Got hit, too.
Great positioning by Bean as far as on the dive, keeping himself in vision of Brito.
Oh, what a feed. Drop step. Up fake. My goodness.
They are getting contributions across the board, are the Runnin' Rebels. They're going to make this a difficult job for Utah State to get back in this.
Might have been an extra stride there, but athletic finish by Brito. Floated. Tight angle shot. Tip. The lefty leaner from Hamilton. He said of this game, it's a huge game for us. We're going to be ready. We're going to be prepared. They have been and then some. They're coming to their feet here in Vegas. 12 to shoot. Over top the screen. Porter has it knocked away. Headman to Hamilton. Brito alongside. What a jam! This is unbelievable. Hamilton. Offensive foul. The Rebs are running again, Dan.
Right when they are making all the plays and out of character turnover, but Bryce Hamilton energizing this crowd after the Mbakajong block, and don't forget about the flex.
Want to stay up to date? Hey Siri, show me college basketball scores.
Well, we have some wild scores in the Mountain West. It includes UNLV up 51-36 on a mighty Utah State, the preseason prohibitive favorite, the reigning champs. And upsets in the making here, some already had today as well. New Mexico entered 13-2. San Jose State was 4-10, but hit a dozen threes to take it. Nevada had to survive against Colorado State. San Diego State only won by 11 at home over Fresno State. Make that 9.
Well, I think what you're seeing is the Mountain West is one of the most competitive leagues from top to bottom, year in and year out. Yes, there's going to be a team here or there that distances themselves or has a bad year, but overall it's a great league because the atmospheres are so good. The arenas are difficult to play, and it's hard to go in and get road wins. So you really have to protect your home court and try to steal some on the road. And as we're seeing right now, it's a tough one for Utah State to steal one on the road because UNLV has come to play tonight.
San Diego State, the next opponent for Utah State. That'll come on Saturday. You wonder if there's a little bit of a trap element to this game tonight. Dorius, one of the subs, back in for Utah State. Bairstow, the little-used freshman. That'll be a foul on Coleman. That would be his 4th. So 4 fouls on Marvin Coleman.
Bairstow is a name that, if you follow the Mountain West, you will remember his older brother Cameron Bairstow, who played at New Mexico. He was with the Chicago Bulls for a short bit, but they're completely different players. Sean, more of a perimeter skill type guy. Cameron, face-up 4 who can really rebound.
Well, Sean did win the dunk contest for the team at their Midnight Madness event. And he's won praise from his head coach. He's been buried on such a deep depth chart at guard. 4 to shoot. They're looking for someone to make a play. Miller, a blind pass, loose, tie up, won by UNLV.
All the little plays right now are going to UNLV. That energy has kept up here in the second half, and this crowd is starting to get into it as well.
Hamilton, behind the back dribble move. He gets fouled. Dan, it feels like many in the building, you and I included, are waiting for Utah State to go on a run. And it's not coming thanks to the effort from UNLV.
You would expect at some point Utah State begins to knock down shots. I mean, they are one of the best shooting teams in the country at around 47%. Tonight, they're struggling at around 33%. But you have to give UNLV the credit. They've been locked into the scouting report. DeMarlo Slocum, assistant coach, really worked on a lot of the details today at shoot-around. So they're locked in, and then they're given that extra energy and effort to execute the game plan.
This is the largest lead of the game for UNLV, up 16.
And right there, a perfect example. Scheibel with that hard hedge on the pick and roll, not allowing Porter Jr. to turn the corner.
Anderson, corner, triple, air ball. That's been the night for Utah State.
It has. First entry type action with Porter Jr. The pick and roll is shut down. Get to the second or third action, and it's out of rhythm, out of sorts.
And it feels like part of the difference, they're able to score at the other end. Hamilton. Utah State need a timeout. What can you do here?
Well, a lot of times you would get a timeout, maybe with a younger group. But this Utah State team is very experienced. Coach Craig Smith really trusts his guys.
Greedo finds Porter, 3-ball. Air ball again. Anderson loose. The effort is off the charts for UNLV. Headman baseball pass, Shebel. That's all ball, baseline entry.
First team to hit the deck throughout the night has been UNLV, and it hasn't just been one guy, it's been multiple guys with multiple effort. That time leading to a transition opportunity that UNLV wasn't able to capitalize, but this crowd is loving the effort by the running Rebels.
TJ Otzelberger in year one for UNLV is 9 minutes and 6 seconds away from a signature first-year win.
They've had their ups and downs throughout the course of his first year, but you're right, John. This would be a very nice win in year one.
The double comes, foul on the floor. Who can break through?
Utah State, you look at Sam Merrill's had a difficult evening. Hasn't had very many opportunities because UNLV's been so locked in on him, but the reigning Mountain West player of the year a season ago, you expect him to have the ball in his hands plenty and create some opportunities for himself and others down the stretch to get him back in this.
Whistle just off for Hardy. We're going to get Sam Merrill with his first. Utah State has won 12 straight games against Mountain West teams. That includes in the conference tournament en route to the title last year. Hardy at the line for UNLV. Overall offensively has been efficient, and Hardy is very good at the stripe at 79%. Rim it in. Headed your way next, all the intel, predictions, results for the college landscape inside college basketball on CBS Sports Network. Brent Stover, Ryan Hollins, Khalid El-Amin, Gary Parrish. Love reaction to this one. The Hardys in double digits. 9 unanswered by UNLV. And the whistle comes. We'll get Hardy with his third.
Hardy doesn't like the call, but it's a good one by the official. Merrill, they're trying to get him on a little pinch post action where he gets a little rub off to maybe be able to turn the corner on the hand back. Hardy, you've got to give the defender, excuse me, the offensive player the ability to move.
Merrill wants it. Close out quickly by Jay Green, getting minutes for the first time in the game. Only 5 to shoot. Bean, extra pass. The shot will not come. The foul comes first. Just as the shot clock was expiring.
Heartbreaker for the running Rebels. You play great defense for 30 seconds, and then a foul on a desperation layup attempt by Porter Jr. as the shot clock is about to expire.
So Shebel's got his fourth. Utah State has its biggest deficit of the year. And not a lot of time down.
And you mentioned they came back from 19 down in Jamaica against LSU. They're going to need a similar type effort this last 8 minutes to come back and get the victory.
Here comes UNLV. Hard screens. John. Foul on Porter. That'll be his second, so the foul's mounting. 6 on UNLV. Make that 5 on Utah State.
Porter Jr. has really struggled this evening. Before those free throws was held scoreless, and he's a guy who's played really well. Last 6 games, nearly 11 points a game for Utah State. Again, they are one of these teams that it seems that anybody can become a double-figure producer any night. But outside of Merrill, you don't have a lot of consistent scoring punch.
Right before that entry, Merrill subbed out. He's yet to hit a three. It's been all UNLV. Let's revisit our AT&T fast analysis and break down Sam Merrill.
Well, UNLV has done a tremendous job of locating Merrill in transition, making things difficult. Then in the half court, making his catches further away from the basket, then being loaded up defensively to not give him any easy looks. They've done a tremendous job of that. But then, if you want to become a great shooter, learn how to free up others. That time a back screen creates an open opportunity. Just wasn't quite able to knock that one down.
He has not scored in the second, and he remains on the bench here. Does that surprise you at all? I get maximizing real-time rest, right? Sit him right before the entry in the media, but he's still on the bench here with this kind of a deficit?
He's only got 2 fouls. He's yet to get untracked. I can't imagine he's going to be out long. But again, you got to give a ton of credit to the backcourt defenders for UNLV.
They have been brilliant. Tillman, one to shoot, does not get it off. Shot clock violation.
Those are the ones that will definitely be on film session tomorrow. You have to understand time management, shot clock management. You're up trying to close out a game. A bad shot in that situation is better than a turnover. Get the ball up on the rim, give yourself a chance to get it on the offensive glass.
Merrill is back in, so as soon as they went to offense, he subs in. Great cut by Bean, athletic finish.
Just play out of the timeout, knowing the next possession you get on the offensive end, you're going to run a little back cut.
UNLV, though, plus 22 in bench points in this game against a Utah State team that's plus 12 per game in points off the bench on the year. Hardy. And a tough shot, and Mbake Jong wins it. Why not work the clock a bit? Antonio says, I'm just going to take my shot. Tillman, up strong. And he'll shoot 2.
I agree with you. When you get the offensive rebound, try to set things back up a little bit. You're in the driver's seat. Antonio had second thoughts about that one, but Tillman active on the glass. Chance at 2 at the line.
Top 5 in the Mountain West in free throw attempts and makes. He converts. Hamilton back in for UNLV. Anderson for Utah State. They're going to go smaller and take Dorius out.
Utah State needs to play as quickly as they can with pace, space the floor, put as many shooters as possible out on the court right now. I would imagine the ball being in Merrill and Porter's hands, trying to break down the defense for themselves or others. Maybe Miller coming off the wide pin down.
Under 7 minutes. 3 timeouts aside. Anderson against Tillman, spins end line. Off target. And the Rebels just dominating that glass. They are plus 12 against a team that's plus 12 on the year. Second best in the country. Anderson a little aggressive on the bump of Hardy. Oh, beautiful feed. And Mbake Jong hesitated and hit.
Great hands on the catch. Was able to not travel catching the ball in traffic.
Brito. Rainbow misfire. Hamilton clutched that. Anderson got handsy. That'll be his second.
A screen by Mbake Jong in the hard dive. Utah State again, just a split second late on the help side. Mbake Jong, the catch in traffic, the finish, the acknowledgement of his teammate.
There it is, second in the country, plus 12. Tonight, minus 14. And by the way, the last series of rebounds, Mbake Jong now has a double-double. His 3rd of the year, 4th of his career. He's got 10 and 11. Miller, they need points. They need quick shots.
They do need to get the ball up on the rim quickly, and that's about as good a look as they're going to get right now with the way UNLV's guarded. Miller's a great shooter.
And Utah State is one of 16. 1 of 16 from 3. John wants it. Double swarms. Opposite Hardy. Extra get Tillman. 5 to shoot to the rim, and he's fouled by Anderson. Hello, Mr. Anderson. That's his third. 8 fouls on Utah State.
Double team. You must rotate out of it quickly. Utah State a step slow. Tillman attacking the rim. One of the best times to put the ball on the deck is when the defense is in rotation. Tillman doing that, getting himself back to the line. TJ Otzelberger talked with us at shoot-around for an extended amount of time and shared some frustrations with his team just because it's a new system that he's putting in, both offensively and defensively. I tell you what, he's going to enjoy watching this film tonight, breaking it down with his coaching staff and his team tomorrow.
His team entered second fewest assists per game in the Mountain West. Second worst assist to turnover ratio. Here they are with their largest lead, doing a bit of everything on a 6-0 run. Miller attacking Antonio. You got to turn him over. The pressure arrives. Right over top to John. Antonio loads up. Is that a good shot?
Shooters shoot, absolutely, but you're still working yourself back into confidence in the rotation. A little bit more time off the clock.
Telegraph pass picked by Hamilton. And Hardy slows it up a bit. Attacks off the bounce. Caught being flat-footed and one.
That being said, good shot versus bad shot. If it goes in, it's always a great shot.
How does Bean fall asleep there? He just expected that he would hold, right?
Utah State, I'll say it again, they've just been a little bit slow, a little bit late on defensive rotations. It's not like them throughout this season. And it looks like they're going to drop to 13-3 with a big one on Saturday at San Diego State.
We already saw one Mountain West team at 13-2 take a loss today. Hamilton a little too handsy there against Merrill. So he got his second. 9 fouls on Utah State, so double bonus in UNLV's favor rest of the way. That's now 7 fouls on UNLV. So Merrill to the line. These are the first of the 1-and-1s for Utah State. And the man who's automatic, best free throw shooter in program history, converts on the first. It looks like we'll get a call. UNLV, not just ahead, blowing out Utah State. It has been all-out effort for UNLV.
From the opening tip, they have played with a sense of purpose and played with energy, getting on the floor for loose balls, being early to guard pick and rolls, being active on the glass, being connected on the defensive end by helping. It's been an impressive effort on that end of the floor.
UNLV the gates 1-3. But they could turn things around with the second season that is conference play. The Keys have held up pretty well.
Yeah, I would say so. Utah State did not get off to a good start. They have not kept UNLV off the offensive glass. And for the running Rebels, they have limited their turnovers, which has been a problem throughout the year. But I think most importantly, they have contained Sam Merrill, who is at the line now, but he's only got 9 points up until this free throw.
And he converts, so he gets to double digits. Merrill's season low was 5. That was against North Texas when he failed to hit a field goal. Here's full court pressure, the most extensive we've seen all game from Utah State. UNLV only 12 giveaways. They average 18 a game. They break that easily. The bench despondent for Utah State. A lot of sullen faces. Hardy down the lane, changes hands, tries to follow, tipped. Blind, finds Hamilton, who draws the foul. It's been that kind of night.
It has been. Utah State has just been a half step slow. Credit Hardy. Goes and gets it. Zero called for the foul. But you can go on down this roster for UNLV. And somebody, each player has done something tonight that has been a positive impact on tonight's outcome.
Very different dynamic on each respective bench. By the way, UNLV has help coming. The second man you saw on the Runnin' Rebels bench, David Jenkins III, an elite shooter and scorer that came with his head man, Otzelberger from South Dakota State. He dominates practice.
He is a big-time scorer, averaged over 20 a game at South Dakota State a year ago. Originally from Tacoma, played at Sunrise Christian in Kansas, more prep school, but TJ said he's going to come in and be a game changer for our program. He can score it. He plays with supreme confidence. Maybe not the greatest playmaker for others, but the confidence with which he plays is going to elevate everybody else next year because he sees it in practice every day.
He hit 112 threes last year to set the program record. A little bit of a hot potato. So there is really the first time that Utah State pressure has a direct positive result.
It's almost a little too late, 20 with 4 minutes, but you never know because UNLV has had trouble taking care of the ball at different points in the season.
Merrill get his first triple. He's going to get a double first. Fairstone, long strides. Bean rips it down. Put back off. One-handed rebound by Jong. He gets a stiff arm with the left hand. And a bad pass. TJ Otzelberger not happy with that sloppiness. But he's got to be happy with the scoreboard. His Runnin' Rebels up 20. What an effort off the bench for Bryce Hamilton.
A sophomore from Pasadena. Must really love Mountain West play. In the opener against Fresno State, he had 14 tonight. 17 and 6 on 8 of 10 shooting from the field. He's been dynamic on both ends of the floor, offensively attacking the cup, and on defense, taking the assignment when he's been guarding Sam Merrill and making life miserable for him.
17 points in 19 minutes, and he's the one who welcomed this game this week. He said, it's a huge game for us. Lady Luck can be fickle, injured some when you play a team with the effort, the tenacity that UNLV has shown here tonight. Utah State 1 of 16 from 3. 1 of 17. And 1 and done. John. Oh, Hardy, the one-hand feed to Tillman. He holds. The traps are here, huh? Bit of a headlock there and a jump ball. Back into the game, Marvin Coleman, who has been sitting since the 10:54 mark with 4 fouls.
Moved into the starting lineup a few games back.
And Utah State's going to insert Roche Grootbaum here, who had a career best 13 last time out, but Craig Smith told us that while he was making more plays in practice, tweaked his shoulder a couple of days ago, he wasn't sure if he could go tonight. Merrill and Bean, could they be done for the night?
I would think so. Bean, a bright spot, 17 and 11, but Merrill never was quite able to get on track.
Just a lid on that cup tonight for Utah State. Coleman. That's too easy.
Opportunity presents itself for Coleman. Lay it up, get your 2 and go back on the other end.
The second make comes on the 19th attempt for Utah State. We'll step aside. The rare triple takes us to a timeout. Utah State popped in the mouth, down big, and here's what's on the horizon, including a rematch of the Mountain West title game against San Diego State.
Should be a good one. Malachi Flynn has really invigorated that offense. A year ago, they were great defensively as usual, but offensively they struggled at times. That hasn't been the case with him running the point after transferring from Washington State. That will be a good showdown.
Travel up the sideline. San Diego State, one of two undefeated teams in college basketball. At 14-0, the best start since they were 20-0. To begin the 2010-2011 season. Into the Sweet 16 that year and lost in the tournament to the national champion, UConn. So it's Merrill on the bench along with Bean. Utah State's conceding this game. It's a matter of margin. And coming up for UNLV, they will host Air Force, the top outside shooting team of the Mountain West. They got to go to the state of Wyoming.
Boise State having a nice year under Leon Rice. They've got a couple transfers that Abu Kijab from Oregon just got released to play, but Wyoming, that's always a difficult place to play.
Wave that bucket off with a foul. And Brock Miller. Hamilton checked in when we came back from the timeout. Through the double. Two minutes. Hardy with very little angle. Tie up, foul. We'll get Hamilton. The worst scoring display for Utah State in just the 2 years under Craig Smith. 49 against Nevada a season ago. Their season low, 64. That was the loss to BYU. Merrill, an uber competitive young man, on the bench without a made three. A slight 49 for the Aggies. Bean buried on the bench as well. We're going to have Brian Dutcher and the Aztecs in Logan on CBS Sports Network Saturday. And you also wonder if they might have Namish Keita back, who did work out earlier today, but was not part of the official shoot-around.
He will be a big addition. Shot blocker, rebounder, got a really good IQ for the game. Has a feel that's hard to teach.
Excellent finish there from Hamilton. Chance for an and one. Rattled it down. 70 for UNLV.
These are teaching moments, though, for this UNLV ball club. You've struggled at times throughout the year. You're starting to pull away in a commanding victory against a really good Utah State team. But how do you handle taking care of the ball, continuing to be solid in your defensive assignments down the stretch?
Rootbaum getting some touches late, gets the bucket. Utah State's going to call timeout. The crowd does not like it.
They do not like it, but it's a good teaching opportunity for Craig Smith to emphasize to his ball club some of the things that they might be looking for in a late game situation down the road. Granted, you're down 18. It's not like you're looking for a set or a design play where it's going to force overtime or win a game, but you might be looking for the ability to take something out of a timeout from a younger player and then execute it on the floor, whether it's on the offensive or defensive end.
Will Mountain West take anything out of this game on how to shut down Merrill and Utah State?
Well, I think what they've shown is if you go to the glass in the way that UNLV has, you can have success. If you can get Utah State out of sorts offensively, and in particular make things difficult for Merrill. Now, I don't think Merrill's going to struggle tonight the way or the rest of the season the way he has tonight, but if you can make things difficult for him or harder, you're going to have a chance to beat them.
You saw the number on Hamilton, by the way. 20 points in the game tonight. Under a minute. Antonio at the horn. Utah State had gone 3-0 in conference play since joining the Mountain West. It won't happen this year either. Miller, little hesitant. Ripped down, put back off for Trevin Dorius. 18.2. UNLV under the first-year head man, TJ Otzelberger. They stood at 4-8 down. They're going to have a 3-game winning streak, be undefeated in conference play, and take down the reigning champs, the first ever unanimous preseason favorite in the process.
Big step in the right direction for TJ Otzelberger and his staff in year one. Part of what you want in year one is get guys to buy into what you're talking about. And when you have success, such as the win tonight, that helps seal your message even more in these young players' minds.
Final second made. UNLV with a major statement. The second season that his conference play is here, and the Runnin' Rebels have their first win over Utah State since March of 2017. A 3-game win streak for UNLV and a blowout loss for Utah State. For Dan Dickow and our entire CBS crew, I'm John Sadak. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. It's been a topsy-turvy day in the Mountain West, and the biggest noise made late. For more, Brent and the gang, our New York studio. It's Inside College Basketball.